Oak Island. Man, this place has intrigued the world for so many years that people are tired of asking, will we find anything, or will we just keep digging? But what scientists have discovered this time is truly mind-boggling. Last week's latest deep scan readings revealed something that wasn't on any map or in any old records. Imagine a perfectly straight metallic layer 40 feet below, and right below that, a rounded chamber with density readings nearly 6 times greater than normal soil. The scientists themselves were shocked that this couldn't be natural. The most frightening thing is that when they ran AI magnetic mapping, the pattern in the readings almost matches the old Templar storage vaults of the 1600s. This hasn't been written about in official papers, but an inside source leaked that the readings are too perfect. This means there really could be an engineered structure hidden beneath Oak Island. And brother, the thermal signal received at 2 a.m. was even more dangerous. A sealed chamber beneath the ground is trapping heat as if something has been locked inside for centuries. This data has completely confused scientists. After such a major twist, if anyone says the Oak Island mystery is over, these new findings are enough to silence them. Now, seriously, if you don't subscribe, you'll miss the next part. And, brother, the next twist in this story might be the biggest blast of the entire season. So, buckle your seatbelts, because what the scientists have discovered is just the beginning. Oak Island has now entered its most dangerous and mysterious phase, and the truth awaits us below. The old mystery of Oak Island, a 230-year-old unsolved mystery. The first thing that comes to mind when you hear the name Oak Island is Money Pit. This is the same place where, in 1795, 3 boys noticed a strange depression in the ground and, out of curiosity, began digging. A few feet below, they discovered wooden platforms, then mysterious tool marks, then things like charcoal and coconut fiber, things that could never have appeared naturally on this island. From then on, people suspected that some deep conspiracy or treasure was hidden here. Over the next 200-plus years, so many groups excavated that every generation risked their lives. Theories of pirate gold arose, talk of British military payroll surfaced, and then, most popularly, the hidden treasure of the Knights Templar. Many believe that in the 1300s, the Templars chose Oak Island to keep their sacred gold, relics, and ancient documents safe. And shockingly, numerous carved stones, symbols, and wooden structures support this theory even today. Despite all the efforts, the island didn't give up easily. From the Truro Company to the Lagina brothers, every team had to endure floods, cave-ins, and mysterious booby traps. In many digs, water suddenly poured in as if someone had built an entire engineering setup centuries ago. Engineers said it didn't appear natural, but rather someone had built trap systems to shut it down. And this deepens the mystery. Who created such a complicated setup and why? Fans and researchers have always pieced together these clues, but the truth has never fully emerged. 230 years of searching, countless theories, and millions of dollars spent, still no one has been able to reach the actual vault. Oak Island remains such a stubborn mystery because the people who built it were not only clever, but also far ahead of science. And this is why Oak Island is still called the world's most puzzling treasure site. New AI deep scan technology arrives. Now let's move on to the year 2025, a time when old digging methods have proven virtually useless. Traditional seismic scans produced blurry results, metal detectors failed to capture depth, and sonar readings were always distorted by water interference. To fill this gap, scientists first deployed an AI hybrid deep scan on Oak Island, a technology that can create a 3D map up to 200 feet underground. This system combines seismic waves, magnetic resonance, and AI-based pattern recognition. Waves are sent into the ground, magnetic distortions are captured, and AI instantly analyzes those signals to determine whether the underlying structure is hollow, metal, wood, or unnatural. Previously, this would take weeks. Now it's happening in minutes. This is a game changer for an unpredictable place like Oak Island. Scientists say the biggest strength of this AI system is its comparison archive. Patterns of ancient vaults, catacombs, military bunkers, and underground chambers from around the world have been fed into this AI. So if any structure is found beneath Oak Island, the AI compares it and tells what kind of architecture it resembles. This is the reason why this time, this technology is directly challenging old theories. This new scanning for the first time gave clear data that there is something underground which is neither a natural formation nor a modern construction. The signals were so sharp that the crew could not understand how such accurate engineering could be done beneath a centuries-old island. While old technology was giving guesses, this AI system was giving proof-level clarity for the first time. After 230 years of mystery of Oak Island, for the first time, it seemed that perhaps this technology will reveal the truth, which the Earth had kept hidden till now. First shock, metallic line. 40 feet below. When the new AI scanning machine first sent data from underground, it initially showed normal readings. But as the depth crossed 40 feet, a long, thin metallic line appeared on the screen. This line was so perfectly straight that scientists were immediately alerted, because nature never creates such a clean, straight line. Even if there was metal underground, it would appear broken, stretched, or in uneven patterns. But here, a line drawn with a ruler. The crew initially thought it might be an old pipeline or cable, but the scientists clearly stated that no modern construction had ever taken place at that depth. That part of Oak Island was considered untouched for centuries. The AI also confirmed that this metallic signature wasn't like iron or steel, but rather some alloy used in ancient vault construction. Hearing this, both Rick and Marty's faces changed, as this suggested straight Templar or pirate engineering. Even more strange was that the thickness of that metallic layer appeared to be exactly the same everywhere, about 8 inches. Natural deposits never exhibit such uniform thickness. Scientists ran the data again, then a third time, but the result was the same. Someone had calculated the depth centuries ago and created a solid metallic layer there. Who had brought such advanced tools back then? The crew was both excited and scared, because such an engineered structure had never been found on Oak Island before. Rick said softly, "If this is a metal layer, then something must be hidden beneath it." And that line spread like electricity through the entire team. A man-made metallic barrier 40 feet below. This was no small hint. It clearly indicated that someone was intentionally protecting something. Oak Island's biggest question, why, had now become even more profound. Subsurface echo readings. There's something hollow down there. After the metallic layer, scientists immediately ran a subsurface echo test. This test sends sound waves into the ground, and the return waves indicate whether the ground is solid or empty. As the wave passed below the metallic layer, the pattern on the screen slowed everyone's heartbeat. The wave suddenly dipped sharply, which meant only one thing. There was a hollow space below. This meant there was an empty chamber. The scientists ran the test again, and this time the echoes return. Time was completely different from previous scans. The hollow chamber's boundary was sharp, as if someone had created a perfect circular or rectangular room. The AI gave a preliminary estimate. Depth, 45 to 48 feet, possible chamber height, 12 to 16 feet. It was surreal for the crew to hear this. In 230 years of digging, they had never found such a clean, hollow signature. This couldn't be a natural cave. It was a man-made structure. The echo reading revealed another frightening thing. Ultra-low frequency vibrations were coming from inside the chamber. Neither machine was working at that depth, nor was any drilling underway. So where was this vibration coming from? Scientists suggested it could be an air compression shift, meaning the chamber has been sealed for centuries and the air inside is creating pressure. If this were true, it meant the chamber was completely intact, and whatever had been placed inside centuries ago was still there. There was a moment in the crew where no one was able to speak. Marty just stared at the screen. Rick's eyes were wide open, and a scientist softly said, "This can't be natural. Someone built this." Hearing this line, the environment seemed to freeze. Oak Island had finally whispered its biggest secret. There was something beneath, and it was in the exact same place where people had been digging for 230 years. These echo readings proved for the first time that Oak Island's mystery wasn't just stories. There really was a chamber beneath the ground, engineered, sealed, and centuries old. The crew now understood only one thing. If this chamber opened, the entire history of Oak Island would change. Magnetic pattern match. Templar vault theory returns. After the AI scan, scientists ran magnetic deviation mapping, a test that determines the arrangement of metal underground. As soon as the reading came in, the pattern that appeared on the screen stunned the entire team. The pattern wasn't completely random. High magnetic nodes at 4 corners and a circular void in the middle. This wasn't typical of a natural deposit. The AI instantly compared it and returned the result. 82% match to known Templar vault patterns. The crew's reaction was silent shock. Marty exclaimed in disbelief, "Templars? Here!" But the scientists ran the data again, and each time the match ratio was roughly the same. European Templar vaults of the 1600s used a similar metal alignment and hollow center design to hide secret chambers. The structure's goal was simple: keep treasure safe and confuse outsiders. The pattern detected beneath Oak Island was exactly the same. Rick said softly, "If this is a real match, then what people have been saying for centuries, that the Templars visited Oak Island, maybe for the first time, it's not just a theory." The weight of this suddenly fell upon the entire team. The 230-year-old stories about Oak Island had always said that the Knights Templar had disappeared, hiding their sacred relics and gold in some unknown corner of the world. And Oak Island always topped the list of those places. The most shocking part of the magnetic pattern was that there were uniform metallic points around the central void. This meant that the chamber wasn't just built, but engineered. An ancient group must have created this structure with measurements, alignment, and metallic reinforcement. They were not only skilled, but also possessed technology that modern machines today can barely detect. Second discovery: double-layer structure. Following the magnetic pattern shock, scientists conducted a deeper scan to determine what lay beneath the metallic layer. It took barely 20 seconds for the data to arrive, but the image that emerged would change the entire story of Oak Island. A perfectly circular structure was detected beneath the metallic layer, its edge evenly curved on all sides. The AI confirmed that this was not natural, but a man-made circular chamber. The most surprising thing was that there wasn't just one layer, but a double-layer structure. This meant an engineered line resembling an 8-inch metallic sheet above, and a solid circular chamber directly below it, with walls approximately 2 to 3 feet thick. This design is only used in highly protected vaults, where the outer layer is a barrier and the inner chamber the actual storage area. Looking at the screen, Rick said, "This isn't accidental. Someone built this with a purpose." And he was absolutely right. The outer metallic layer was probably created to make digging impossible or flooding. Double-layer designs always have a decoy layer and a real layer. This means that Oak Island's 230-year-old trap system has now been scientifically proven for the first time. The AI also calculated the chamber's depth, approximately 48 feet down, and its height, around 14 feet. This measurement doesn't match an abandoned mine or natural cave. It precisely matches the style in which ancient vault builders constructed chambers for long-term storage. A minimal echo bounce was also detected inside the chamber, implying that something large or dense material was present inside. With this engineered proof, scientists were now completely convinced that Oak Island wasn't just a random digging site. Some advanced ancient group had built a multi-layer security system here, one that no one had been able to open for centuries. One question kept revolving among the crew. If the outer layer is so strong, then what would the real secret be in the chamber below? Thermal imaging nightmare. Sealed heat pocket. Upon discovering the double-layer structure, scientists immediately ran thermal imaging to obtain temperature readings inside the chamber. Normal ground temperatures are roughly the same at every depth, but as the scan reached 48 feet, an abnormal red pocket flashed on the screen. This meant heat was trapped somewhere inside, and so evenly that it appeared to be a completely sealed cavity. Nature never creates such a clean heat pocket, so scientists immediately realized the air inside had been trapped for centuries. The AI stabilized the temperature and revealed that the heat inside was as if some ancient sealed artifact, metal relic, or tightly closed storage compartment had been building pressure for a long time. The heat trap data clearly indicated that the chamber was not open, with no air entering or leaving. If this space had been sealed for 300–400 years, the air inside was likely the same ancient air that had been trapped during construction. The crew was literally stunned by this, because such intact chambers are rare. Thermal data revealed another frightening pattern: uneven warm patches inside the chamber walls, suggesting something large had been placed inside that had been maintaining a stable temperature for centuries. Scientists said this wasn't a normal artifact, but rather a high-density metal or multi-layer object. Hearing this, old stories came flooding back to mind. Templar relics? Ancient documents? Sacred metals? It was difficult to even imagine what was in the chamber. Government officials arrive. Shut everything down moment. The thermal scans were underway when suddenly the headlights of black SUVs appeared on the north side of the island. In an instant, 4 heavy SUVs pulled up outside the dig site. They had no number plates, no official markings, just a matte black finish and tinted windows. The crew couldn't figure out who these people were. Within minutes, officials in suits emerged and headed straight for the scientists. As they arrived, they said in a clear tone, "Shut everything down, right now." There was both urgency and warning in his voice. He showed a notice declaring the site a restricted zone, stating that excavation should be temporarily halted due to a federal interest investigation. No reason was given, no explanation, just a clear order: shut down machines, stop scans, and clear the site. The scientists tried to understand what the issue was, but officials prevented them from saying anything further. One simply said, "No statements, no data release. This is classified." Hearing this, the scientific team was thrown off balance, for the first time in centuries, a real vault signal had been received, and now the government itself was intervening. As quickly as they had arrived, they took ground control. Rick and Marty were both perplexed as to why the government was so urgently seeking Oak Island data. Before the crew could process the situation, officials had installed yellow restricted tapes in the outer area, forbidding anyone from entering within 50 feet of the chamber. The entire atmosphere suddenly felt like a high-security military zone. The crew realized clearly, this wasn't just treasure. There was something in it that even the government feared. Crew tension. Rick and Marty versus officials. After the government halted the excavation, tension spread within the crew. Both Rick and Marty knew that this data was special and had taken 230 years to reach this point. If they backed off now, Oak Island would once again remain a mystery. But there were also official orders that were difficult to ignore. The crew was divided. One group said they should continue digging, as this opportunity would never come again, and the other group said the risk of government interference could be too great. Rick said in a calm voice, "We've devoted our lives to exploring this place. Now that the actual chamber is being found, we shouldn't let it stop." But the scientists were afraid, because they had been given a silence order. If they broke the rule, both their licenses and careers could be in danger. Marty took the practical side and said, "If we put everyone at risk, we won't be able to continue." Continuous discussions ensued among the crew. Some workers said the government simply wanted to take control of the discovery. Some felt there was something beneath that shouldn't be known to many. The suspense was growing by the minute. The team was literally trapped between official pressure and Oak Island's biggest discovery. This wasn't just a digging project anymore. It had now become a battle, truth versus control. Rick finally stood up and said, "If we stop, Oak Island will never forgive us." Hearing this line, the entire team's mood began to change. But the government was standing outside, and so was the real chamber below ground. There was danger on both sides, and this is what makes this phase of Oak Island the most dangerous, emotional, and unpredictable. Secret meeting. Scientists reveal hidden truth. At night, after the government had left, the scientists quietly summoned Rick and Marty to the equipment tent. The atmosphere inside the tent was so tense that no one was looking each other in the eye. The lead scientist slowly opened the laptop and said, "We haven't shown these readings to anyone, but you need to know." The same metallic pattern and chamber layout flashed on the screen, but this time, a red warning line appeared below the data. The scientist explained that the AI had detected a high-value metallic cluster in the center of the chamber. Its density score was nearly 9 times higher than that of a natural metal, meaning it couldn't be an ordinary object. He said softly, "Such density is rare." It was compared to ancient repository metals, and the match was very high. Rick and Marty looked at each other. The data clearly indicated that something large was inside. The scientist revealed another shocking fact. The alignment of the metallic lines and chamber was so perfect that the AI marked it too engineered to be natural. He whispered, "If this was built by an ancient group, then they were even more precise engineers than in modern times." Hearing this, the team understood that the mystery of Oak Island wasn't just a treasure story. It was likely the work of a completely different civilization or secret brotherhood. At the end of the meeting, the scientist added, "The government issued a silence order because this chamber doesn't look like a normal archaeological site. It's an intentionally hidden structure." The determination was clear in Rick's eyes. If there was something both valuable and historical inside, it had to be extracted. The secret meeting ended, but the tension and curiosity had increased exponentially. Nighttime dig, cameras off, only crew present. Despite government restrictions, Rick decided to conduct a small digging attempt at night without informing anyone. Cameras were turned off, so that no documentary footage would record their activity. Only a trusted crew, 2 floodlights, and a silent excavator machine were present at the site. The night air was heavy. Everything seemed as if the air itself was standing there, listening for secrets. The excavator began a light excavation around the metallic layer. Every movement of the machine was carefully timed to avoid cracking the outer layer. Shortly after, the digging team felt a sharp vibration in the ground, as if the machine had struck something solid. The operator stopped the excavator and lowered a steel rod. As the rod struck, a sharp metallic clang was heard, so loud that the entire team froze. A small cloud of soil rose with the clang, and a faint metallic smell permeated the air. Crew members looked at each other. No one could understand what was beneath, but they were sure something man-made was present. The noise was so unnatural that Rick himself bent down to listen for any echoes returning to the chamber. For a moment, the site fell silent. The darkness of night, closed cameras, and a structure hidden for centuries. The crew understood they were now standing before Oak Island's deepest truth. Every heartbeat pounded, as if waiting for a major explosion. Partial structure exposure. Ancient vault wall. As they dug a little deeper, a hard, smooth surface emerged from beneath the soil. A floodlight shone on, revealing that this wasn't an ordinary stone wall. The surface was half stone and half metal, made in a merge design, as if someone had sealed molten metal between stone blocks. This construction style is extremely rare, even in modern times. The crew instantly understood. This wasn't an ordinary chamber, an ancient vault wall. Upon closer inspection, small, unknown markings were visible on the wall's outer surface. These symbols were neither Latin, Norse, nor any known language. The shapes were slightly angular, slightly curved, and formed in extremely precise geometric patterns. It seemed like a code or protective script. When Rick touched it, the wall was surprisingly cold, meaning the air pressure and sealing inside were still intact. A crew member lightly knocked on the wall with a hammer. The sound wasn't dull. Instead, a hollow echo came from inside, as if there was a large empty space behind the wall. This signal was so rare that Marty immediately said, "This is it. This is the vault." The team's faces were filled with excitement and fear. No one had found such a structure on Oak Island in the past 2 centuries. As soon as they touched the markings, the soil began to fall away, revealing a clear section of the wall. The metal glowed a pale golden hue, as if it were made of an alloy. The crew now knew only one truth. This vault was built by a group willing to protect secrecy at any cost. Oak Island was finally revealing the door to its deepest secret. And that night had become the most historic moment of the crew's lives. AI reconstruction model. What lies below? After discovering the ancient vault wall, scientists immediately fed the ground data into an AI reconstruction system. Within seconds, a 3D model appeared on the screen, and the shape that emerged astonished everyone. According to the model, there wasn't just a simple chamber underneath, but rather a multi-chamber vault system. The structure appeared to be divided into multiple layers: a thin entry chamber at the top, a large circular room below, and an elongated deep compartment even lower. Depth mapping by the AI revealed that the design resembled typical Templar or medieval hidden vaults, where the outer room was created solely to confuse visitors. The real treasure or sacred objects were usually kept in the second or third chamber. The model also revealed several small passage-like lines, as if someone had left tiny tunnels to create airflow or water traps, preventing easy access to the vault. Most frightening, the AI also identified a high-density object cluster in the lower chamber. This cluster was placed in the center of the hollow room with exact symmetry, clearly indicating that someone had deliberately placed it in perfect placement. Both Rick and Marty understood that these weren't random natural caves. They were centuries-old engineered vaults, likely containing a secret that was deemed necessary to keep hidden from the world. The crew remained completely silent as they examined the 3D model. Rick pointed to the screen and said, "This isn't just a vault, it's a whole system. Someone built this with great planning." The clearer the AI images became, the more the crew realized that the true truth about Oak Island had yet to be revealed. This wall was just the beginning. The real world lay hidden beneath. Final twist. New deep signal at 65 feet. The 3D reconstruction was underway when suddenly the AI began displaying a new red blinking line on the screen. This signal wasn't present in the previous scan. The scientists zoomed in and analyzed the readings and discovered a new anomaly had been detected 65 feet below. The data was completely different: strong metallic density, zero echo return, and a perfect circular outline. The meaning was clear. What had been found so far was just the outer door. The main vault is hidden even deeper. The crew was literally shocked. Marty said in disbelief, "The wall we just exposed, isn't it the real vault?" The scientist shook his head. "No, it's just an outer protective door." This meant that centuries-old builders had created two-layered security. The first door was just a trap, and the actual treasure chamber was sealed several feet below. Such engineering is rare even today. How was it possible back then? Rick's eyes were filled with mixed emotions: fear, excitement, and disbelief. He uttered just one line in a deep voice, which struck the entire crew like lightning. "If this is just the entry, the real thing is below." Hearing this line, the crew's adrenaline level suddenly soared. They knew that Oak Island wasn't just a treasure hunt anymore. It was a gateway to a hidden world. Reaching the 65 feet below would be 10 times more difficult than before, but that signal clearly showed that Oak Island's true secret was yet to be revealed. The wind blew strongly in the night sky, the vault wall stood before us, and the signal to the second chamber below ground glowed. Oak Island was finally beckoning us to its deepest secret. And this was just the beginning.